All right, in our last section, we were talking about the mistakes that people make. So we're going to finish that up. We were in the middle of that, so I want to get right back in that for a moment. Now, it's like you're going into what's going to go wrong. And later on, you're going to realize when you've listened to it and you've done a few of them, people aren't going to be that concerned if you made a couple of little small grammatical errors. If they've gotten the information they need, they've gotten it at a really good price, you've created a connection with them, they're not going to be so concerned if you're not a public speaker extraordinaire or a Harvard graduate. Most people really don't care. If your product solves their problems, they're cool. So leave it at that. Now, there's some awesome interview subjects that you can use about questions, about common mistakes people make. These are great things to use, frequently asked questions that people should ask. Here's one of them. Like I said, I was talking about common mistakes. For example, when somebody's feeding dogs natural food, how to lose weight, how to prevent those mistakes. If you lost everything in all your contacts and made and had to make all your money back in 30 days, what would you do? It's another question. If you're trying to build a list or you're trying to make money online, those are the kind of circumstances. If you had to start all over again in the field of chemistry, for example, what would you have done differently? Even the audience questions and answers sometimes is where you can get up and just basically poll your group. You can do it in forums. You can do it with your email list. If you have one, you can do it on Twitter, other social media. It's super easy to get a bunch of questions and you just take them to the interviewer and ask them, our audience wants to know this, 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 and this. It's that simple. Or the other thing is just interview people who already have hooks. So you might want to interview that person that says they have a fabulous wedding on a budget of $1,000 or less. Somebody that has an obvious topic that you guys are talking about and at the job site, or if they own a job, or where you're doing where you work. So you go out there and you get out there and find these clients, find these people to interview. We're going to show you how to do that. You're going to be able to find 6 or 7, maybe 8 or 9 chapters out of this and create a questions based around those chapters. Each question, you can make that into a chapter in a book. Now, don't go in here and act like you've got to write a novel here. You don't have to do that. If you're familiar with the WSOs, many of them are really small, 15, 20 pages with a video or two, and they sell like hotcakes. Now, you don't have to do a big interview. Now, let's talk a little bit about how to give a good interview. Now, as interviewing goes, it's the confidence. Building your confidence is really the name of the game. 80% of your results are going to come from just having the feeling that you're going to go out there and kill it. Just go give a great interview. The other thing is don't hold anything back. Don't be afraid that you're going to give away all your secrets, because if you only have a couple of secrets that you can give away and in an hour, you're not an expert. Go out and learn something else. Now, it may upset you, it may piss you off, but think about what I just said. You've got to have a lot of content out there. Don't worry about sharing too much content. You don't have to have a lot to bring to the table, though. If you have somebody else you can interview, though. Again, interview experts. So you just give as much information as possible in your interview. And they come out really good. Have a playful attitude. Have fun with it. Don't make it the most serious thing in the world. Laugh. Be a light joking. Again, we're going to get into this a little bit further, but later in the presentation, we're going to talk about having one as the expert and one as a normal person. And if that doesn't make sense to you now, it'll make sense to you in a little bit later. And another cool trick is to really hone your answers in on the core audience and really hit them. You can create basically meta audience member profiles. Here's what you could ask yourself. What are the typical demographics of the person that's listening? Their age, background, occupation. Come up with a profile. Find your avatar. When you know your avatar who's on your call or your webinar, you can find out what their cultures, their hobbies, their info. You can help create better products that are targeted to them. So let's, for example, you've created a portrait or a profile for, say, Joe. He's an average guy. He's 45. He's worked for somebody else the last 20 years of his life. He's got 10 grand in the bank, and he's really interested in golf products, specifically those products that deal with putting. Now, your product could be Facebook plugins. It could be products for people with diabetes. Whatever it is, the same form of method works in any niche. So now here's what you're going to do with this information. In the last few minutes of your seminar, I'm going to show you some quick tips how to book interviews. Now, we're going to move forward now that you've got this information. First of all, you realize there's going to be a ton of people out there who are just like being interviewed. We talked about that earlier. Now you've got your avatar. You know who your customer is. Go out there and find experts that are in that niche. Think about it. They work all day, and these experts that are out there like the attention of listening, are people listening to what they know. People go through all their lives. They have excellent information on certain products that nobody's interviewed them yet. All right. We're going to move on through here, and we've done that. Now that you know how to find the information, moving forward, we're going to get into webinars. We're going to catch that on our next recording. We'll catch up with you then. Bye.